to For Riel. We've had some new subscribers in the past week, so if you're new, welcome to the Wednesday News Moto. If you've been here for a while, we're always delighted to have you. At the start of each News Moto, we'll put our donation total on the screen. It's there in the corner, you can see it right now. It'll only go up once a month though, because YouTube only pays out on about the 23rd of each month. Anyway, your support means a lot and keeps us going. This week we have another great ride from Heartprint. Thank you so much to Gary and Wendy for everything you do to help people who are doing it tough in Siem Reap province. Today is Wednesday the 13th of July, and in today's news we'll take a look at the 10-year visa program, check in with Phnom Penh's drunk drivers and see who has the best table of shame. A new 10-year visa initiative has been announced. It's called the Cambodia My Second Home, similar in name to the Malaysia My Second Home, or MM2H. So what is it? Well, it's a 10-year scheme, and if you're approved, you can apply for a Cambodian passport after 5 years. The visa is called the 10 Years Golden Visa. There isn't too much information available about it just yet, and until some people actually go through the process of applying for it, it's going to be a little bit sketchy on the ground, I think. It's definitely a long game and it isn't cheap. You have to invest $100,000 in Cambodia, and I've just read that there's a $30,000 application fee in addition to the $100,000, so you'll need deep pockets and a very strong desire to become a Cambodian citizen. Another criteria is that the applicant must own a real estate project approved by the government in Cambodia. There are 3 phone numbers listed, one for Chinese speakers, one for Japanese, and one for English language. I guess the fact that the Chinese number is listed first makes it clear that those are the likely applicants for this scheme. I think it would be attractive to people who want to own property, but I'd be very concerned about having to hand over that kind of money 5 years before getting the desired outcome. There is a dedicated website for the scheme, and it mentions that the Khmer Home Charity Association is the only association recognised by the Ministry of the Interior to administer this visa program. The website includes all of the requirements, so you can check it out yourself if you think it might suit your particular circumstances. Tread carefully though, and be sure to get legal advice. Some good news for unvaccinated travellers. Cambodia has scrapped quarantine requirements for unvaccinated inbound travellers. This change came into effect on Monday. Unvaccinated travellers, or those not having had a full course of vaccination, so if you've just had one of a 2-course vaccine, will need to pay $5 when you arrive in Cambodia and take a rapid antigen test on arrival. So the $5 is to cover the cost of that test, If the rapid antigen test's result is negative, the person will be allowed to travel to their respective house or destination without observing quarantine obligations. If you test positive and you have mild symptoms, you'll be allowed to undergo treatment at home with self-isolation. Patients who test positive and have severe symptoms must seek medical treatment at licensed COVID-19 hospitals. Unvaccinated or not fully vaccinated inbound travellers are invited to receive COVID-19 vaccines free of charge at any vaccination site across the country. SIM cards now. Sihanoukville police have announced that they will crack down on vendors who sell SIM cards without asking for the correct documents. In order to prevent crimes by crooks who use SIM cards to deceive innocent people, professional officers at the Provisional Police Commissioner Sihanoukville have educated vendors that mobile phone shops and SIM card vendors are required to take ID cards or passports from customers. Now to a different kind of ringing, cock rings. Police continued to crack down on illegal gambling activities in the country, including cockfighting rings and the ring leaders. The crackdown in question took place in Pursat, behind the house where the 37-year-old man was living. Police stated that when they arrived at the scene to arrest those involved, the gamblers escaped from the authorities. During the crackdown, the police seized 2 motorcycles, 2 roosters, 2 chicken coops, and portable stoves. Most likely the stoves were to get rid of the evidence. The landlord was summoned for further questioning at the Inspectorate for Education and to sign a contract that he will not allow cockfighting to take place on his land in future. This next story is not for real. Normally the US dollar is the target for counterfeiters in Cambodia. However, authorities are warning citizens to look out for fake Cambodian reals after a man was arrested in possession of a number of fake 50,000 real notes. The man attempted to use the fake money at a stall owned by a 33-year-old woman in Svay Rieng province. The stall owner complained to the police that the suspect had used counterfeit 50,000 real banknotes at her stall. He could have easily just copied the 100 real note, which actually seems like monopoly money. He would have needed quite a stack to buy anything though. Cambodia doesn't measure their drugs in grams or kilos, but tons. Once again, the scale of the narcotic production crisis that Cambodia faces was graphically illustrated when police confirmed that they had arrested 11 foreign nationals and confiscated a mind-boggling 1.8 tonnes of drugs and 276 tonnes of chemicals in Phnom Penh, Prey Veng and Kandal provinces. The scale of the operation makes it look like a scene from Breaking Bad. The anti-drug department says it has cracked down on a large-scale drug processing ring. Prior to the crackdown, the police had conducted an investigation for more than 3 months. A total of 12 different targets were raided across Phnom Penh, Svay Rieng, Prey Veng and Kandal. A processing site and 6 storage locations were also raided. As a result of the crackdown, the 11 foreign nationals were arrested. The confiscated evidence includes 1.827952 tonnes of ketamine, 276 tonnes of chemicals and chemical compounds, a large amount of drug processing equipment, 8 cars, 3 motorcycles and 19 mobile phones. Now to the weekly Crash 'em Up Derby Moto Madness craziness, which is the streets of Phnom Penh. 5 foreign nationals were lucky to escape with their lives after they dramatically overturned their car early this morning in Phnom Penh. The accident took place in front of a Honda dealership and next to the fence of the Phnom Penh International Airport along Russian Federation Boulevard. Witnesses say that a group of 5 Chinese people, 2 females and 3 males, were driving a 2005 Toyota Prius along Russian Federation Boulevard. Suddenly, they lost control of the vehicle and smashed into the road divider. Yep, they always blame the poor innocent road dividers. The car flew into the air on impact and eventually came to a stop on its side. Amazingly, the stunned occupants were left with only minor injuries, but the poor Prius was badly damaged. The road divider reigned supreme once again. A truck driver had a lucky escape yesterday after losing control of his vehicle and plummeting into a canal. According to sources at the scene, the truck was seen driving at excessive speed, so just the normal speed of these trucks, I guess. It braked to avoid hitting a moto, then went headfirst into the canal. The truck driver luckily escaped injury and arranged for a crane to lift his drowned vehicle from its aquatic grave. Private vehicles are barred from entering the Phnom Penh Sihanoukville expressway after traffic accidents have increased significantly on the under-construction road being built by China's Belt and Road Initiative. The Ministry of Public Works and Transport announced the ban after 2 luxury cars collided along the expressway in Kampong Spu province. The 187-kilometre Phnom Penh to Sihanoukville expressway is expected to be completed on the 31st of May 2023. The number of traffic accidents in the first 6 months of 2022 has surged to more than 1,600 incidents, with nearly 950 deaths reported and over 2,200 injuries, according to a report released on the 12th of July. Motorcyclists accounted for 81% of fatalities, or 759 deaths, and of the riders killed, 558 resulted from not wearing helmets. I think there's a lesson there for all of us. Phnom Penh had 458 reported motorcycle accident deaths, 117 in Kandal province and 97 in Sihanoukville. The director of the Institute for Road Safety confirmed that there are 3 reasons why the number of traffic accidents has surged in the last 6 months. Number 1, the traffic law enforcement has decreased because traffic police have been busy with the recent commune elections and were unavailable to perform normal traffic duties. Number 2, the number of national road projects that have finished has increased, such as the National Roads 5 and 6, so the amount of traffic on those roads has increased. And number 3, the final reason is that there is no COVID-19 lockdown. I guess that makes sense. However, the overriding cause of traffic accidents is that road users fail to obey the road traffic law, the director said. Here at For Riel, we don't really like to talk about numbers of deaths and serious accidents and things like that, but it's a huge problem and it does need fixing. Lastly, though, we have a good news story. The number of international tourists to Cambodia soared by 394% to 506,762 in the first 6 months of this year. Tourists coming to Cambodia during that period were from Vietnam, Thailand, China, the United States, Indonesia, France, Korea, Malaysia, United Kingdom and Australia. While this is definitely good news, the Ministry of Tourism has estimated that Cambodia will have to wait until about 2026 or 2027 for international tourist numbers to return to the same level as they were pre-pandemic in 2019. Make sure you watch our last vlog about why we love Cambodia and read the comments. There's lots of great stuff in there. Hopefully you will all be visiting the kingdom soon. That brings us to the end of this week's news. You're now up to date with all of the most important events in the kingdom. Thank you for watching. As always, links to the stories mentioned will be in the description of the video, and we'd like to thank Heartprint once again for providing today's ride. Take care, have a great week, and we'll see you very soon.